Welcome to the Bbt Podcast. I'm Becca.
And I'm Quilly.
We're friends that are just trying to be better together.
Join us to hear about what it's like to be in between Gen Z and millennial identities.
We hope you enjoyed this week's episode. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the podcast. We're super excited for today's episode. Make sure before watching that you are subscribed to our YouTube channel and also our Spotify. Also check us out on Instagram where we post fun things. Every Thursday we try to post a poll, so you want to check those out. It's very cool. And yeah, today is the end of March. It's March 28th today.
And it's raining.
It's a cloudy day today. So, but yeah, we're really excited that spring is just around the corner. You know what they say? April shower. It's not even April yet, but April showers bring May flowers.
Actually, it might be April when we release this, right?
Oh yeah, it is. It's going to be.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Happy April, guys.
Happy April. Hope March was great to you. Yeah, we're wearing spring colors. I'm wearing yellow today. Quilly is wearing, what is on your shirt today?
Blue. Is this a blouse? A blue blouse with some yellow flowers. Oh, and then I found this really cute pin that my friend gave me. It's a cat with a cherry blossom on the other end. So if you guys are on YouTube, you can see.
Super spring. Oh my gosh, cherry blossoms.
Yeah.
Yes, cherry blossom season is just around the corner. Because we're mirrored on
Yes.
Yeah,
it's almost the time to go out. You know, people around here go to High Park to see cherry blossoms. I go on the computer.
Yeah, I know. Oopsies. Nah. But, like, you don't have to go to High Park to look at cherry blossoms. There are cherry blossoms.
I not?
Everywhere. Everywhere.
In my heart. They're
in
my heart. You know, there's this really good Pocky that is cherry blossom sticks. So if you guys are ever in Asian stores and then you see special edition Pocky. And
really?
Yeah, the stick is pink and it tastes so much better. It's like elite over the regular sticks.
Whoa, I need to try that one.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
I'll get you some one day.
Yes, please do. We should do an episode just having Asian snacks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be so fun. But
exactly.
You know where we would eat snacks the most?
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
School.
On campus. Yes. Oh my God. See, my life during school was just food, friends, and lectures.
Yeah, it was basically that. Like, our schedule, engineering schedule, was very packed, if you know.
Mm-hmm. If you know, you know. If you don't want to know, so it's okay.
Yeah, so then most of the time we would just be in class. So then we couldn't, like, go out to eat that much.
No,
so
if we did, it was like
our own snacks.
Yeah, if we did go, it was like the stores that right beside us, and
yeah,
I don't want to name any names, but let's say that they don't have that great selection, but you know you got to eat anyways because you're students, you can't go far, so that's how they.
Yeah,
okay. I still appreciate them. They fed us during hard times.
Yes, they did. They were very comforting.
Mm-hmm.
And they were just places to go when we couldn't go anywhere else.
Right. But, you know, this reminds me, there are some places that are very not comforting.
Like lecture halls?
Yes. So if you guys like not getting the drift yet today, we're going to talk about our school experience in engineering, as well as like we'll dab into a little bit of maybe elementary school experience later. But we want to share with you what it was like in engineering school.
Wow. So exciting. We loved it.
All right, you know, let's just dive right in. Lecture halls. Let's go. Why don't we, do you want to break it down like we talk about pros and cons or?
Yeah, let's talk about the cons first.
Okay.
Or should we talk about the pros first? I think we have more cons.
Yeah, why don't we just do cons? Because
let's just do cons.
Yeah, we'll do cons.
Okay. So, lecture halls, you spend a lot of time there as engineering students. Okay, I think like the most social time in engineering on some days are like the 10 minutes before class.
Yeah. So we had this system where you would have like 50-minute classes and then 10-minute breaks to move somewhere.
Yeah.
But if it's like a 3-hour class, that's like 20 minutes of just rest.
Yes, it is. It is. It's crazy. But yeah. Okay, so one of my least favorite lecture hall styles or like chairs is like when the chair is connected to the table,
Oh my
but
God.
it's like
Swivel.
it's like swivel. It moves. Yeah, it's like
And
that.
it moves
But
the
then it keeps
direction you
going
don't
in.
want.
Yeah, and it's like super annoying. And then your body gets really pressed up against the desk and it's really uncomfortable.
Oh my God.
Those are the
Speaking of
worst.
bodies getting pressed, dude, winter time.
It's the worst. It's so bad.
You know, there's
Wintertime
like,
is like hectic.
I know, it's like, especially when someone needs to leave. Okay. When you're in a row of like 20 plus seats and then someone in the middle wants to leave.
Go to the washroom. Oh, it's so bad. Sometimes I just hold it because I'm like, it's
Don't want
such
to
a
move.
hassle. Don't want to
Like,
move.
you don't want to try shoving your body between the little tiny desk that you pull out and the seat in front. It's so awkward.
It's so awkward. You know what's also awkward? When you walk into a class late and then it's like the door is in the front so everyone can stare at you.
Yeah. It's like the doors at the bottom right beside the prof.
Those are the worst. And then you try to find a seat at the corner, but the only seats available are the ones in the middle. So you're just being extremely disruptive. And there's no seats at the back because they're all taken.
Oh my God, this reminds me. We had this one course in our last year of school. Do you remember where the professor got really tilted when people left to go to the washroom during class? Which is a total commonplace thing. Okay. So you know how like university, it's like, oh, you guys are more free to do whatever kind of. So if someone needs to excuse themselves during class, it's totally fine, right? That's usually the vibe. But we had this one class. It was about professional practice and stuff like that. And then the prof is extremely the prof is like, you guys have to practice professionalism, so you may not leave to use the washroom. But obviously
we have a break for a reason in the middle, so use it during that time.
But you know, some people can't hold it in.
I know, exactly.
Yeah. So it was really funny where like every time I heard someone like get up, I would immediately look for the prof because you could see his face. Like he couldn't say anything because it was a bunch of guest lecturers, right? But he was just staring at you, staring you down.
I remember.
Those were the good days.
Yeah, some profs are really crazy about that kind of stuff.
I understand, like, it's like reputation too, because you invite a guest lecturer and you're like, you don't want to embarrass your school. But you gotta go when you gotta go.
Yeah, exactly. Crazy.
Okay. We did. Oh, this reminds me of something else. That specific classroom that we had that course in had a bunch of fake plugs.
Oh, yeah. That one was the worst. It was so bad. Like, they didn't have any outlets or anything. Yeah. I think only the first 2 rows or something had it, but the rest didn't. And you would look underneath, and then it would just be like a hole. Like, there would be a socket, like a hole empty for a socket, but there wouldn't be a socket there.
Right? Like the company or whatever who designed the lecture desk were like, all right, we understand that students nowadays all have electronic devices to take notes. So we're going to design you a beautiful socket spot right in the bottom of this. Right? And every convenient. Like 3 or 4 seats, there would be 2 sockets.
Beautiful.
But then the person installing was just like, you know what? I don't want to electrify everything.
Yikes. Actually, we can't do that. It's not going to let us do that. We're going to blow a fuse. So we can't do it. I don't know. I don't know why they can't do it. Like, they might have just needed to open, so then they couldn't figure it out. And then they're like, whatever.
Yeah,
maybe
I don't
know. Now, with COVID, they'll figure it out. Maybe.
Yeah.
Because no one's there. So they have time, you know? They do renos.
Yeah, I walked by a couple days ago, and they are renovating a lot of places, which is very smart. Like, I hope that they can improve all these things.
Exactly. Hear the students out. Another thing is like in lecture halls, a lot of the times it's really warm inside and it's just so sleepy. Right after lunch, if you're in a lecture hall that's warm and you're also with chairs that are super comfortable, nap time.
Dude, I think you've been in this classroom too. You told me about it. It was pretty far from where the engineering buildings were, but it's like it's this huge lecture hall that like I don't even know how many rows of seats there were. I couldn't see the prof. Like that's how small it how far away.
Yeah, it's huge.
But the seats are comfy.
They're so comfortable.
The room gets warm. Wow.
The prof dims the lights.
Yes. And
I had a class there from 7 to 9, I think.
Yes.
Or was
evening classes.
It was like 6 to 9. It was like a 3-hour class in there.
Yeah.
Oh, half of that class, like the second half, I'm going to do it.
I'm going to expose myself here. I took that class and this was the first time in my life where I have fallen asleep for over an hour in a class. Yeah, it was pure bliss though, because I was just sitting there and I'm tired, long day. It's a 6 p.m. class. My friend beside me was tired too, so we just mutually agreed that we would sleep.
Exactly.
I was trying to focus, listening, but then my eyes just like slowly drooped over, and then bam, it was 8 p.m.
Yeah, because that class though, like it's all stories, so it's like story time.
Story time.
Put yourself to sleep,
Yeah.
Time for a nap.
So boys and girls, story time works. If you guys ever have kids, tell them stories.
Yeah, tell them stories.
In a dimly lit.
Yeah. Oh wait, should I expose the class? No, I shouldn't. Okay, it's fine.
No.
No. I was about to say something about it.
Well, no. You know what people like to say in engineering, right? When you give someone criticism, you should also give them suggestions on how to improve. Okay, it's not just engineering. I realize it's everything. It's good communication to give suggestions. So what should we suggest for lecture hall designers?
Very good question. Very good question. So the first one, definitely the plugs, the outlets. There aren't enough outlets in these older buildings. Yes. Okay.
Times are changing, guys.
I know. It's necessary now.
Right? Some students take notes with their phone.
Do they really?
Yo, I've seen this kid had like something open and they were recording. And then the recordings were changed to words. Yeah, on their phone.
I think I saw that too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Technology. A lot of people also use iPads now.
Yeah, they all need power, guys.
Yeah, you can't sit in a 3-hour class without charging something.
Mm-hmm. Including us, people gotta be charged too.
Exactly. I would say no dimly lit classrooms because those are not great.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and chalkboards. I didn't like those.
Yeah. What would you prefer though? Like them using like an electronic thing and kind of putting it up, blowing it up?
I prefer whiteboards.
Or warbirds.
Warbirds.
Wait, I don't even think I had a class with someone using a whiteboard.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no, tutorials. I had tutorials.
Yeah, tutorials would have whiteboards. Mm-hmm. But I like whiteboards because like the markers stand out a lot better and it's easier to clean.
Yeah, contrast.
And what colors. I don't like about smart boards, do they use these anymore?
No, we had those in elementary though. I remember those were so revolutionary, but then okay, wait, continue your story first.
I was just gonna say smart boards are not good for the eyes either, because I remember using it in high school and I was sitting just 2 meters away and I couldn't see what was going on because the contrasting wasn't great, because I think it was right. Great. It operated via projector. It wasn't like a screen, so it was just a fancy projector.
Yeah, exactly. No, what I was going to say is that, remember how, the calibration for it?
Oh,
they would have to calibrate it every time. Like it wouldn't be the best. I remember halfway through class, it would just be uncalibrated again, and then we have to recalibrate it. And then the teacher would draw a line, and then it would be like 2 inches away from where the teacher like drew the line, and I'd be like, "Oh, so sorry." And then we have to just spend another 10 to 15 minutes recalibrating it. So we ended up wasting so much time just setting up the smart board.
To be fair, though, they were pretty innovative. Like
they were
it was
at
like
the time
the thing.
for sure.
Yeah. I remember. Everyone was about the smart board. Like we wanted to do everything on the smart board.
Yes, everything.
Right, but then they started phasing out.
Had like one. I think we had a few, maybe 2 or something, and then we have to like switch them out to different classrooms and things.
Oh, it was on a trolley.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Oh my god, we had that too.
Yeah, it was so funny.
Yeah, I haven't been seeing much of these at uni though. No,
they don't use those anymore. They just connect their little tablets there. Oh my gosh, we had a prof. Okay, we had a prof.
Oh my god, I think I know where this is going.
we had a prof in first year.
Oh my god.
Like he would use like a tablet. I think it was like a Surface, right? To write notes. But then he wouldn't use OneNote. He would use Paint.
MS Paint.
He would use Paint. And then like he would write the notes down. And then instead of like saving them or anything, he would just delete every single note that he wrote.
He'd like open up a Paint and then he would basically fill it with the content of like one slide deck. So he would put like maybe 1 or 2 equations. And then he's just like, okay, everyone good? And he just closes it and is like, would you like to save? No.
No. And then people who were too like slow to pick it up would be like, oh, sorry, I didn't catch like what you wrote. And he'd be like, oh. Maybe ask the person next to you or something.
Such a chill guy.
Yeah, he was such a chill guy.
He's a nice guy. He's
nice. He's a very nice guy.
It's hard to move on from Paint, because once you go Paint, you can't go back.
Yeah, I know. Someone needs to tell him about like OneNote or something, because then it would be a continuous page. But we also had a prof use PowerPoint to write notes.
Yes.
Do you remember that?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, good times. That was a tough class. That room had a swivel chair.
Yeah, it was dark.
It was dark. It was after lunchtime.
Yeah. And the prof was monotone.
And also it was like a 2-hour class, so it was not. It was just a combination of everything.
All these like negative factors.
Things. Yeah. Did they have outlets there?
They did.
They did, right?
They did, but was it the first couple of rows too?
Okay.
I think it was also the first couple of rows.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that reminds me though. We had like really good and organized professors too. We had this one prof who he was, when he was assigned to classrooms with chalkboards, he would bring his own chalkboard cleaning device, and it's just like the thing that you clean your windows with, your car windows, the soft part. He would have that, and then he'd dip it in his own bucket of water that he would bring and just wipe the board before he begins. It's amazing. It's so clean.
And he would have to bring that bucket of water to whichever class we were at.
Yeah.
And he was really organized. So whenever he did the class, it would be like there would be 4 blackboards, and then he would make sure the content that he was covering would cover exactly the 4 blackboards, nothing more than that.
Yeah, so then at the end he would just show all 4 boards, and you could just take a picture and it's perfect.
Yeah, exactly.
This
he was
prof,
a very thorough prof.
Yeah, when the quarantine began, I remember, because I subscribed to him on YouTube. He has a YouTube channel. And I remember he seemed to me as like the most prepared for transition to online. His whole setup was like, he had 2 cameras pointing at him, and he had another one pointing at a whiteboard. And he was giving like a tutorial and has set up all these things for other profs. It was amazing.
That's so good. Wow.
Innovative.
That's clutch. Like,
right?
And a lot of profs didn't have anything starting out, I'm pretty sure.
It was completely like, it's so rough. I feel bad for actually everyone, because like, you remember when, like, at least for me, I found that conference calls were like, I didn't like
awkward.
them. Yeah, like when
Yeah.
during work and stuff, conference calls, I found them awkward, slightly annoying because people don't mute, and
Mm-hmm.
it's just overall not a great experience. But now, like, our life is conference calls. This is a
Yeah.
conference call, guys.
Yes, exactly. Right?
Yeah.
It's gotten better slightly, but it's still definitely awkward.
Yeah, like there's this thing with like online etiquette now, and where everyone is like expected to know to mute,
Mm-hmm.
or like stuff like that. But you still get that person who like logs on, and then everyone's ears is blasted with like shuffling noise.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and then you'd be like, hi, could you mute?
Yeah, and they always like everyone knows who it is, but then the person's always like, "Oh, someone isn't muted. Could you please
Yeah.
mute yourself? Thank you so much. Now we can continue."
Yeah. They don't like call them out because
Yeah. Oh my God. Have you ever done a thing where you're in a call and then it's like the end of the meeting, but you haven't said anything, and then
yes.
you just unmute. Thanks. And then mute.
Thanks. Okay, thanks. Bye. Yeah.
See you
talk later.
tomorrow.
Yeah, all the time.
Right, just so that they know you're not AFK and doing something else.
Yeah, exactly.
Anxiety.
Exactly.
But yeah, sorry, we drifted away from that.
Okay.
But
Okay, so
okay.
then
Yeah, go ahead.
continue. No, go for it.
No, go.
What
No,
are you
you
talking
go.
about? Oh, I was
All
saying.
good.
So, okay, do you like PowerPoint? Like, do you like when profs use PowerPoints?
Okay, I have different levels of like and dislike when it comes to PowerPoint.
Okay.
Overall,
okay.
not a fan, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm more not of a fan if the prof is just reading off the slides. Like, there's
I
no
feel
point to going to class if you're just gonna read me the text you put on there. But I've had really good classes where the prof gives examples via the slides, and yet she keeps a conversation going, right?
Yeah.
Where it's not just like you read the slides and then so
I
why do
feel
I have to
that.
come, right?
Yeah.
How about you?
Okay, I think it depends on the course.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because if it's like a math course, if it's calculus or like a physics course, I feel like it's a lot better if they did it through chalkboard or like through whiteboard. They wrote down the equations. They kind of pause and then talk about each variable or something, or they give you examples on the fly, and it helps you learn while you're writing it, like with the prof, you know. So I think that's helpful.
I think it helps from like their teaching perspective too, right? Because it would be easier for them to deliver the point if they could explain it, or a more fluid environment, right? Yeah,
exactly. You're learning as they're writing, and I kind of like that for those type of courses. But if we're talking more of a humanities course, like psychology, I know psychology is not
business,
a humanities course, but like just courses that don't have a lot of math to it.
Exposed. We haven't taken much humanities courses.
Yeah, I know. Basically that. But yeah, like those type of courses, then PowerPoints are useful because it's like sometimes in those classes there are a lot of definitions.
Yeah.
And I don't think a prof can write all those out all at once. So those are helpful. It's like you said though, if a prof is like super engaged, that helps with the flow and helps with like picking up information. If a prof is like just in general really passionate about the subject, it helps a lot.
Oh, you can tell.
Yeah. It just makes you like the class a lot more, even if it's like a really like boring class. Like a class that you generally don't like. If the prof is super engaging and just like really great at presenting the information, it just makes it so much better.
Yo, what you said though reminded me of how I got trust issues. Because we've had
I know
courses,
what you're talking about.
Right? We've had courses where
yeah,
it's like, you know, engineering principles, right? And it becomes really hard, and there's a lot of information to absorb. But the professor was extremely good at professing.
Super good.
Right? They were so good at getting you to understand the concept, so you believe that you understand them. You think you get it.
You got to the exam.
Yeah. Then there's exams. Then when you get the homework, it's like, yeah, this is okay. The problem set's kind of okay. I can ask my friend.
Yeah, makes sense.
exam time comes around.
Nope.
And suddenly you're like, oh my God, I don't get anything.
I don't understand. Yeah, it's crazy. Sometimes like everything will go well. Like you'll have a great prof, you'll have a great TA, you'll do well on the assignments, you'll understand like tutorial things.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get to the exam and it's like bamboozled.
Yeah, major like you start having an existential crisis during the exam.
Yeah.
You're like, did I make the right choice to do this? Are my friends doing okay? It's reassuring when you hear your friend beside you madly erasing, swearing, aka this was me. All my friends would tell me this afterwards. Quilly, you're so annoying.
Oh my gosh, Quilly
And like
is
I
very
remember
vocal.
Yeah, I
Not
remember
vocal,
after
but she makes a lot of like grunts when she
Yeah.
like doesn't get the answer right.
Mm-hmm. So I remember almost after like every exam that was kind of difficult, they would come out being like, Quilly, I could hear you going like the whole time. Are you okay?
Yeah, basically.
That was fun times. Sometimes I wonder. Oh, when you're doing exams, right? We have like exam halls where they're dedicated to exams. Like, first of all, why would you do that? It just gives me way more anxiety.
It stresses me out.
Right? Exam like places, dude. No. But then, do you ever get scared that people are gonna accuse you of plagiarizing someone beside you? So
Yes.
you control your eyesight. Right? I remember, okay, dude, you know how there's a clock right in the middle of the exam halls? There's a clock.
Yeah.
And then I would get thirsty, so I'm drinking water and I don't want my eyes to wander, but closing them is also weird. So I stare up and I stare at the clock when I'm drinking water.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Wait, have you ever made eye contact with the TA?
Yes.
Yes,
Many times.
Yes, it's so awkward. They're like, why are they looking? Why is she looking at me? And I'm just like, but I can't look suspicious right now. So I have to just keep staring at him. Or where do I look? And maybe I'll look at the clock or something.
Do you
so
ever
it doesn't
do
look
like
too
fake
suspicious.
nods and like fake thinking when you make eye contact with a TA?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, like, oh, yeah.
Oh,
Looks
this
at
is
my
what I was.
paper.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what I'm doing here. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
No, yeah.
Exam
Okay,
anxiety.
oh my gosh. Okay, there's this one exam hall that we went to, and it's a gym. It sucks.
That exam was
The
also hard. So
the chairs are like folding chairs, like that you
they're metal,
bring out
right?
for like they're so uncomfortable. And it's so chaotic there because there's so many other people that are taking other exams. There's like, I think there's like 4 or 5 other things, and everyone has to wait outside.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so stressful.
And then the door was like a back door. It wasn't even the front of the gym.
Oh, it's so
we
bad.
all had to wait in this side street where all the frat houses were.
Yeah.
And then some people would be waiting in the roads and the cars would be driving by scared that they would hit a student. And then once they let you in, they would combine exams. Like in our gym, it was the bigger one that they put us in. We had an exam with another group of kids who were in the back.
Yeah. It's so
Goodness.
stressful. Those big exam halls are so stressful.
Oh God, dude, exam stress just reminded me of another thing. You know when okay, so you're working through your questions, you look through it, you're like, I don't know how to do this.
Oh yeah,
come back later, and then suddenly the prof goes like, oh, or the TA, excuse me, everybody, there's a mistake in question number 2B where the Avogadro number is written wrong, and then you'd be like, either one, you didn't get to the question yet, and you're like, oh my God, how are people already there and asking these questions?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
and then 2. Like, we're supposed to use Avogadro's number, like...
I know what you're talking about. Oh my gosh. Or sometimes you'll look at it and you'll be like, oh, I didn't even notice there was a mistake.
Yeah, and you're like, I already did the question.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Oh, this reminds me.
No.
One of the craziest questions we've had on an exam, for me, I thought it was crazy, was do a breathing exercise and write down how you feel.
Oh my God.
Yeah, legit, that was the question.
I remember this. It was first year. It was a
Yeah.
first year course, and it was yeah. It was like teaching
I
you
think
how
it
to
was called like
transition.
Intro to Engineering or something.
Yeah, yeah.
One of
It was
those
teaching you about
courses.
how to de-stress. And they were like, you've reached this point of the exam. Please take 5 minutes to breathe and write about your experience. I think I
Oh
saw
my
that question. I was
God.
like, all right, let's take one deep breath here and then let's just write something.
Yeah, let me tell you, dude, let me tell you what grade I got on that question.
What? You remember?
It was like out of 5 or something, right?
Yeah.
I got 2.5.
No way.
They gave me a 50% for breathing wrong. For
Wait, what were
experiencing
they looking
something.
for?
I don't know.
Remember.
They asked you what you felt, right? So I just wrote like, oh, I felt relaxed and da 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 da. Like,
Ugh,
I thought
dude.
you couldn't get this wrong. And I got
You
it
are not
wrong.
relaxed enough. How could you not breathe? You didn't talk about your breathing. You didn't talk about how your heart rate decreased and by how much. There's no metrics here.
Yeah, I think that was the problem. So I felt betrayed by that course. I got 50.
Heck?
I got 50% on a question where they asked you to breathe.
Oh my gosh. Wow. I don't remember. I feel like it's still up. I could check it. That's so
Yeah,
funny.
so they have different methods of grading, right? And then some of them use CrowdMark and
Yeah.
or like a system where you can see your grades again. So I think we can find it. We'll look it
I
up
could
next
find
time.
it. Yeah.
I'll see if I can
Oh my
find the
gosh. What
what
I
was it?
wrote.
The comments.
What we wrote. Oh, I'm so curious about what I wrote for that.
I probably don't want to see it. It's gonna bring back memories, you know. They don't need to have.
First year memories? Oh, first year.
First year memories. First year was a fun year.
Was it?
No.
First year was like confusing, I think. It was a lot.
It was a big transition. Yeah.
It was. Like Quilly and I felt like we were in the same page.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
In terms of like transitioning to engineering brain, transitioning to uni brain. We were like on the same page, you know. We were still like trying to figure out ways to study. I think everyone was. Which was, did you have like a super shocking low grade that kind of like, whoa, blew you for?
I think I had a super shocking first semester.
In general.
Yeah, well, to be honest, like I didn't want to raise my expectations, like I went
Me
to a
neither.
bunch of like outreach programs or whatever.
Yeah, me too.
And then they
said
told
it
me,
was expected.
Yeah, exactly. So they had primed us pretty well to expect lower grades. And I didn't want to think in a way that it was like, oh, I'm in uni, like I have to get lower grades. You know what I mean? Like it's like validating me not working hard. But
I feel that too.
It happened anyways. I didn't get the best grades in first year. We all know that. But
first year is hard.
It was a major transition for a lot of people because you're suddenly in an environment where you're more responsible for your actions, and
everything's worth more.
Yeah.
And
that was the thing that I hated the most in first year, though. How midterms and exams were worth so much.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. And it's like your one chance to kind of boost to get a grade. Like assignments from tutorial and stuff were just 1 or 2% sometimes, and if you did really well on those, sometimes it didn't really matter too much if you didn't do great on the assignments. Okay, one of the courses we had in first year, the final exam was like 60%.
I think that was the most we've ever had in terms of a percentage for an exam. 60. I don't remember anything more than that. Was there an 80?
No, there wasn't anything.
Dude, I feel like there was an 80 because like we did so poorly on a midterm that he was like, if you do better, then we'll give you 80.
Oh,
that definitely happened.
Yes, that happened. That happened.
So we all had like really bad. Yeah, I think we had 2 midterms and then we all did really poorly. So the prof was like, "Oh, the final is 60%, but we'll give you 80% if you do significantly better than your midterm." Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, if you're going to take away anything from this, it's as long as you're kind of average, if you did bad, but you know the class did bad also, don't stress about it too much. because
Yeah.
the prof is going to have to do something to help boost your grade. So don't worry
And
too much about it.
honestly, if you did bad and everyone else did good, it's also okay.
That is fine. Exactly.
Yeah, it's totally acceptable, but just like reach out, maybe find some people to study with, find what works for you. Because it's honestly, university for me was a whole path of discovery of what worked for me.
Right?
Yeah. But
It takes a
instead of
while. It
talking
takes a
about
long
like,
time.
yeah, sorry. But yeah, it does take a long time, dude. I'm still working on it, you know? Life is all about discovery.
Exactly.
Yeah,
You're not going to find it in like a day. You're going to have to experiment, which is you're going to see some like low grades. You're going to see some high grades. It's going to fluctuate a bunch.
You're going to have good profs, bad profs.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Speaking of which, though, I think both of us, we have like a similar list of courses that we really enjoyed or profs that we found really engaging. And then one of them, we took this one course because for us, like how our schedules worked, we had less and less mandatory courses as we went on in the years. Which is very common, I think. So we could start choosing things that fit with your minor or your interests. And we all took this one course. Like our squad took this one course called like food engineering.
Ooh, I love that course.
Dude,
that was a really wholesome course.
Yeah, let's tell them why it was wonderful.
So first of all, the prof was wonderful. He's an older gentleman. And he's just like a grandpa. Yeah. It felt like just talking to your grandpa. He talked to us like we were his like grandchildren. He would give us like
so kind.
Little stories about things related to food engineering, about his past, work experience and things like that.
Right.
And he would make like a bunch of dad jokes all day, like the whole class period.
Anytime he made like a joke, he would be like, "Ahaha, but I digress," and then he goes back into it. I digress.
So adorable. Yeah. And then he would also, as a part of our learning, he would provide like packaged food.
Snacks.
So we got like snacks like Rice Krispies,
Pringles, juice boxes.
Yes.
Twinings tea.
Yes.
Cara milk bars, Rice Krispies.
Yeah.
A lot. And
and then he would teach us about how they manufactured them. Basically a mini how it's made lesson. But he would also give us history about the food that he gave us too.
I remember we did one thing on popcorn, and he told us that the first time popcorn was ever sold in a popcorn cart was at the whatever World Fair in like US or something like that.
Yes.
Or France. So
and then he also told us that Pop Rocks, there were these theories when Pop Rocks first came out that this guy was driving around a truck full of Pop Rocks, and then it rained, and then the truck exploded. Or something like that, right?
Yeah, it was like the truck tipped over or something, and then all the packets blew up.
Yeah. And then there was another theory that like someone ate too much Pop Rocks and then they exploded.
Yeah, they tested that on Mythbusters though, right? And it was not true. Yeah, he mentioned a Mythbusters episode for one of the foods.
Wow.
Like, I think this is a solid tactic.
Yeah.
But he did tell us he was spending his own money though, which I admired. I was like, I feel like the school should give him budget for this.
Yeah, he was very sweet. Like the caramel bars he gave us were the full size ones. Expensive.
Massive. But we had to share them with a partner, but I felt so warm and fuzzy inside. Like, I've never had a prof like this.
Yeah, he's great. He was great.
Right?
He was also really enthusiastic too. So
I loved it when he shared his personal stories. Like, he told us about this one time he went into the mountains to pick tea leaves. And he had this one picture of himself, and he was like, "They found a new employee today. Me." Adorable.
He's so cute. Aww.
Yeah. Very
but
nice
other
people.
things that are like super wholesome about engineering is the fact that our school like the engineers, they had all of these tools and like wood and things laying around.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so then because of that, they would make all of these like installations and then they would use it to prank students, but it wasn't really a prank. It was like a really wholesome just installation to kind of cheer up people's days, and it was
Yeah.
really cute.
They would call them pranks, but they're more like happy surprises. Because
Yeah,
none of them
very,
hurt
very nice.
anyone.
No.
Right? They were just like, it would be nothing one day, and then the next day when you go, it's just full of cool stuff.
Yeah.
Right?
Like they had the Mirror of Erised, which if you watch Harry Potter, it's this mirror where in the first movie where Harry looks at it and he sees what he desires most.
Mm-hmm.
So he sees his parents. Ron
Yeah.
sees him winning the Quidditch Cup.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, the Mirror of Erised is so cool. I remember I was sitting at the place where they installed it, and the guy was sitting beside me, and he had an Arduino, and he was programming it. So he programmed it so that when you asked it a question or it got some feedback or whatever, it would give you a random thing. Like, you will get a 4.0 or whatever this semester and stuff like that. Yo, I need a haircut.
Me too. I kind of want to chop it, but I don't know. What's the shortest you've gone for hair?
Shortest? The shortest I've gone for hair is probably here. I never went above my shoulder length. Because I'm afraid.
I don't think I either. Me neither.
Yeah. I have a theory. Not a theory, but I have this thing where I think my face is round. So if I get a bob or something, I'm going to look like a watermelon kid.
Watermelon kid.
Yeah, but I think I'm actually going to try it out because I wanted to grow out my hair to donate. So I think it's long enough now. Yeah, yours too.
I think so.
Right? So it's a nice length. But I was afraid that they weren't taking donations during COVID. So I might leave it until after things get better before I cut it.
Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Mirror of Erised. They also had a bouncy castle one time. I think I went on it.
Did you go? Oh, I didn't. I just walked
so.
around it. It filled like the whole area. So we have this one building where it's pretty cool. Like the center is hollowed out. So you can look straight down from the floors. And then that's why we were able to put so many random things. Because it was so big, right? And oh my god, the bouncy castle? Dude, it was like a tiger?
I don't remember what it was.
I remember it was orange, and it reminded me of the guy on the cereal box. Tony the tiger. Great. Yeah, did you go on it? Was it fun?
It was fun. Oh
my god, I should have went.
De-stress. Yeah, I think a lot of the time they just put stuff up there to help students de-stress a bit.
Like the giant Tetris. Nice.
Yes. I don't think I did that one.
I didn't play with it. Oh, actually, I did play with one of the pieces, but it was afterwards. But it was like, you know how Tetris are made of cubes? Each cube was about the size of like 2 of your heads. And then they would put it all together. They painted it, and then you could fit the pieces together. It was great.
Wow. I love
Not only that, though, dude, they did a lot of memorials.
They did. It was really sweet.
Yeah,
so Remembrance Day and things like that. Remembrance
Day. We're in STEM, right? So they honor the women who were massacred at the school in Polytechnique, in Montreal. And then they always do memorials. It's very nice. I like to see. Yeah. I really like, you know, that warm and fuzzy feeling you have when you see something nice done, and they're not getting paid for this. It's students, and it's basically a club where they just, but anyone can join whenever you want and help them out with stuff,
like
and
no
they
commitment.
Just do it. Yeah, it's amazing. It just makes me feel so happy when I see it, like hope and humanity kind of thing.
Yeah, I know. Same. It was nice.
Yeah. They also had really funny ones though. Do you remember?
Which one?
Okay,
Which one?
so between different engineering disciplines, did we tell them what we're in?
Oh, yes, I know.
Yeah, so we're in chemical engineering, right? So each engineering has like stereotypes. Okay, so there was one time the group of kids put a McDonald's sign on one of the engineering disciplines building.
Yes.
Yeah, that was fun.
Wait, what's the stereotype for that one? Or like the...
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, it's about how like students will just end up working at McDonald's.
Okay, so that's like mechanical and industrial engineers.
Yeah.
I think it's mostly industrial though.
It's mostly industrial. Yeah.
Yeah. That's so funny.
Fun times.
They also put these like random pictures up in the washrooms, and then it would be like they would call them fart because it's
They're
like
called
fake
fart.
art.
Yeah, fake art.
Yeah, I think it would just be like
It's hilarious.
parodies of famous paintings.
Mm-hmm.
So like the Mona Lisa, but
like photoshopped
with something.
To have like a
like
school meme related. Or
yeah.
It's hilarious.
Yeah, a lot of memes. That's something that is very common in engineering. Memes.
Dude, memes could feel childish, right? But no, I love them because they help me de-stress. They're fun.
Yes,
and then
they were great.
By the time it was like 4th year, I feel like we all kind of just didn't really care about our image too much. So Becca and I were in the same lab group for one of our practicals, and we put memes on our hard hats.
Oh yeah.
So we were in a group of 3 with a good friend of ours, and then we just decided one day that we wanted to be smarter. So we found the meme of the sloth and the sunset, and he was like, it basically says knowledge is power.
Okay, but also this is what happened. This is where it came from. It was like 2 a.m. and we were working on our lab report. We were going crazy because we couldn't figure out the calculations. We still had to come up with a presentation for the next day. And it was 2 a.m. And then we were like, okay, we need inspiration. We need something. And then our partner put knowledge is power on the
document.
It was 2 a.m. and we couldn't stop laughing at it because it was just like, we're just like so done with everything.
Yeah. And then after we handed that in, we were like, you know what? Let's just use
put that on there.
Our printing quota, because we had this quota system where you could use 2 quotas for a colored, like a colored page, and then 1 for a regular page. So we were like, you know what? Let's use 2 to print these memes and put them on our hard hats.
Hard hats. Yeah. No one said anything about them though.
Exactly. I bet. Okay. Yeah. I bet the TAs were like, "Oh, these guys are fun. I like these guys."
Yeah. TAs are cool. We're students once. So
yeah, exactly. They get it. You know.
They get it.
I'm just gonna put a PSA out there. If you're a student, for both students and TAs, if you're a student, understand that it takes a long time to grade stuff as a TA. Okay. And then if you're a TA, understand that kids have a lot of courses. So if they're ignoring you, if they're not showing up to your course, it might not be because they're a bad student. They might be having a bad day, a bad week, a busy time, right? Don't blame each other. Love and peace. That's all I gotta say. Love and
peace. Yes. Preach it.
But yeah, sorry, I totally took off. I digress.
We digress. A caveat. Sorry, Prophet kept saying that too.
What were some common catchphrases?
I don't remember. That one sticks in my brain because he always said that.
Yeah, caveat. Etc. Etc. Do you remember? Etc. Etc. Da da da. You could be like this, etc. etc.
I don't remember that.
Yikes! It was just me.
Yikes! No, that's so funny.
I digress.
We digress.
Now, where were we?
Where were we now? What were you talking about? How did we get here?
We were talking about uni and all our amazing experiences. Fart. Oh my god, fart was hilarious. One thing about like what I really loved about fart, it brought joy. Right?
It did.
You would be having a bad day. Your tutorial didn't go well. Your practical failed. Your friends are studying without you, and you have to walk across campus to meet them at the library, but you don't want to, and you need to go to the washroom. You go to the washroom. You find that the stalls are nasty, and then you find one that's okay, but it's still kind of gross, but you're like, I gotta do this. And then you close the door. And then you expect to be enclosed in isolation of a weird smelling stall. But instead, you are faced with a beautiful piece of artwork.
Yes, instead of an ad that you see in every other stall on campus, you get this beautiful satirical piece of comedy.
Yes.
It's great.
As well as the sign that tells you to flush.
Yeah. Don't forget to flush. So we both went to uni together and we talked about it together. But now, since we didn't go to the same elementary school, I'm really curious to know more about Quilly's elementary experience. Did we have things that were similar? Did we have similar playground antics?
Were we the same kid? I don't know where that's going. Did we behave the same way?
Yeah.
Did we have any emo phases?
Ooh.
Did we have friends?
Did we? Ooh. Diving deep. Okay. Well,
stay tuned to
take
find
a break,
out, guys.
So, yeah, stay tuned to find out.
Get some water. Drink water. It's good for you.
Yes, make sure to do that. Just kidding, everyone. This week's episode is actually done. So part 2 of this episode is actually going to be posted whenever we post it, in next week or the week after that, because we had so much fun filming part 1 and part 2 of this episode that we didn't even realize we filmed an hour for each of them. And so we decided to post them on separate weeks. Until then, make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel and click the bell notification icon. We always forget to say that, but make sure to do that so you get notified every time we post. And also make sure to follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or whatever podcast listening platform you use. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to give it a thumbs up. And also leave us a review on Apple Podcasts because that would help us out tremendously. Don't forget, knowledge is power. Also, I'm not going to leave you off like that. I will actually include some clips from next week's episode. Super out of context. So make sure to stay tuned for that at the end. Okay, thanks guys for making it this far and supporting our channel and our podcast. It means a lot to us. Cue break music.
When I was little, I'd like to do this thing with my friends where we would dig in the sand to make pits and then we would get to the wet sand.
Oh, me too.
Oh,
me too.
Dude,
100%.
and then you dig out the wet sand and make balls. Oh, there's worms.
And pick them up like this.
And this is when I started to get my fear of Band-Aids.
One time, okay, so this kid, he found out that you can use a magnifying glass, use the sun, and use that too. No, where did you
I was thinking of killing ants. I didn't do it, but I saw that somewhere.
No.
Stares straight at me and says, kids these days, disgusting.
Just because you were holding a leaf?
Yes, and then I realized that she thought it was a marijuana leaf. Dude, elementary school was hilarious.
It was.
Did you ever get in trouble for anything when you were in elementary school? I just remembered the most traumatizing story in my life from elementary school. Let me tell you. And my teacher was so pissed. Okay, she was legitimately pissed. I remember the Lord, the world, the universe helped me get revenge.
Oh, wild word wisdom.
Yes. Wild
I'd say
word
it slowly
wisdom.
because sometimes I say it fast and it turns into a wild word Wednesday.
Oh,
wild word.
I always want to say weird, wonderful word, but it's not that. It's Wild Word Wednesday. Oh. Thank you for listening to the Bbt Pod.
Our music is by our friend at soundcloud.com/MIERUKO.
See y'all next time. Bye.